We often buy the most delicious chocolate truffles at the chocolate store, right? But
right.
they can be expensive. And why would you do that when Trish from the Cadbury kitchen can show us exactly how to make them at home?
Quite right.
Not too hard.
No, they're not hard.
Yeah.
They just take a little bit of time.
Okay. So what chocolate do we use for this?
Okay, well, we use the Cadbury melts, and this is real chocolate, and it's specifically formulated so that it melts beautifully and quickly. And what we're going to actually do is to heat the cream. So we form basically a ganache, and that's done by heating the cream just up to the boil. It doesn't need to cook for any length of time.
It's just to heat through, essentially, because you want to melt the chocolate.
That's right. Okay. Now, you can add flavours to it, and there's a couple of variations for this recipe. We're going to do the orange-flavoured one, because Jaffa flavours are always great, and liqueur is always a favourite. So
this would be nice.
Three
tablespoons?
3 teaspoons.
Teaspoons? Ooh, we all put 3 tablespoons in there. It might not work.
You can't eat those and drive.
It might be a bit too strong.
All right, so we just need to allow that to come to the boil, which doesn't take very long. As I say, it doesn't need to be cooked, and then we're going to pour it over the chocolate. So what we need to do is to put the whole bag there, the 250 grams in, and the heat of this should be enough to melt down the chocolate, and this is going to form the ganache, or the base. And this particular type of truffle is pretty much based on Swiss truffles. You see lots of other types of truffles about. You know, sometimes with Americans they'll have like biscuit bases and so forth, which can be really good, and peanut butter and so forth, which can be quite nice. I think these probably are a little more adult than that.
Yeah.
And we're going to use dark chocolate, but you could use white or milk to coat them as well. Yeah. All sorts of different toppings can be used, like, you know, finely ground nuts, etc. as well.
And I just love it because it's just all about creating your own.
That's exactly right. You make your own signature truffle. That makes sense, I think. And that should melt down really quite quickly. What we need for this to do then is to just take its time. So allow it to firm.
Right. We'll finish mixing that. We'll leave it on the bench.
And we'll allow that to firm. And then we'll come back to that in an hour or so.
Right.
Okay, so now that the ganache is firmed, we can start to spoon it out, like so. It's going to go onto a lined tray. It can be kind of rough at the moment. Essentially, this is going to form the centre of our truffles. We actually need to put it back into the refrigerator for a short while to firm it up again, and then we can roll it. And
I just put a little bit of baking spray underneath that, just so when
that
you're doing this, makes it life a lot easier, so it doesn't slip all over
that makes sense.
over the tray.
Now, this has become really nice and firm. If you allow it to sit for a while, it will become quite firm.
Because what will happen if we start to roll this now? It's just going to get all sticky on our hands.
Yeah, look, I think it's just an insurance policy to, you know, put it into the refrigerator for just a short while to let it cool down, because essentially this hasn't been in the refrigerator yet. It's just set beautifully as it is.
It is, isn't it? It's nice and... All right,
so there's the tray ready to go.
Place that in the fridge.
We'll just cool that down just to chill it off so that it's ready for rolling.
Okay.
So our ganache is in the fridge and that's firming nicely. So what we need to do is get organised to actually coat it now. And we're using the dark chocolate melts again. And what we need to do here, because as we said earlier, the melts are, all the Cadbury baking range is real chocolate, we actually need to temper the chocolate. This is just a quick cheats way, if you like, and it's called seeding. So you melt, say, 1/2 to 2/3 of the chocolate that you need to use, take it off the heat, and use the rest of the heat in the chocolate to heat through the remaining sort of 1/2 to 1/3 that's left over. The reason why you do that is because it's the cocoa butter proportion of the chocolate. That's what makes it real chocolate, because it contains cocoa butter. But the cocoa butter is full of crystals, and we need to allow time for those cocoa butter crystals to sort of get back into order, and that produces that lovely crisp and snap.
It's the texture that changes, and you know when you bite into a chocolate and you hear a bit of crack? Like that. That's exactly what it does.
That's right, the snap.
So that's ready, isn't it, to start coating? Shall I get the truffles out of the fridge?
Absolutely. Okay, so they should be nice and cold now and firm. So all we need to do with those, nice clean hands, and not for too long because we don't want to warm them up too much. Just roll them into a ball, so that creates the centre of your truffle. And then you can, I probably find a couple of spoons just as easy as anything else. A quick roll in the chocolate and over a couple of times. Try and get off any excess, and then that can go straight back down onto the tray.
All right, well, I'm going to give these a go. We'll finish these off, and then we're going to place them back in the fridge.
That's right.
Easy.
Okay, well, here they are. They're nice and firm. So the chocolate's set beautifully. I can put them onto our little serving tray. There we go.
Very nice. You can see how that tempered chocolate that we did is firmed up nicely.
It does, and it'll have that beautiful soft ganache centre.
Yeah.
So quite decadent.
So what is this little special thing we've got here?
Right, well, just a very special adornment today.
Oh, that sounds nice.
This is some gold leaf that you
What
can
is
buy.
gold leaf?
It's actually little fine sheets. Whoops, come on, off you go.
So delicate. I'm trying not to breathe too much. It just blows away.
Well, once it's on there, it sticks.
Yeah, it stays.
It's actually 23 carat sheets. They're very, very fine.
And I mean, if you can't find gold leaf, you can use different. You said some toasted coconut would be nice.
You could use toasted coconut, any type of toasted ground nut on the top.
Yeah.
You could maybe use some
pistachios. I love the look of that.
Pistachios
The green
or some glacé fruit, which would be beautiful. But that's a very, very special adornment.
Can I have a taste?
That's right. They will still be extra delicious without the gold leaf, but they just do look special, I think.
I'm going for one.
All right, enjoy.
Cheers. Are you going to have one?
Sure.
Cheers, Trish. Cheers. Legend.
Mm.